How you going, guys? Welcome back for another video. This one is going to be a little bit of a throw together of a weekend. Basically, we headed down to the Carralbyn nostalgic drags. It was a really awesome weekend. Never been before, bit of a last minute arrangement. Thought we'd just go and check it out. It's one of the big events that I'm building the gasser for and hope to participate in future or coming years. So I grabbed Tim and we thought we'd just go down and check it out, see what it was all about. So come along, this video is a bit of a throw together. I just took a bunch of random clips and I'll just do some bad narration over the top of it and give you a rough idea of what was running, what was happening and how it all ended up. So yeah, let's just jump into it and we'll check it all out. I'll let you know as bits and pieces come up that are of interest, we'll run you through them. We rocked up, this is the accommodation, this is just some cars that are on display out the front. The whole car park's full of cool cars. We checked in, headed straight down. You can walk down to the event, it's not far from the accommodation. We decided to drive, it was raining. We get down there and this is it. They're all just lining up to do scrutineering, which is kind of cool. Get to see them all roll through, check out each car individually. One of the coolest gassers there, check this bad boy out. Man, there were some rad cars. I'm a big gasser fan, so like, this is heaven to me. I've never seen so many gassers in one place. Just chilling out, everyone's getting through scrutineering and whatnot in the hopes and dreams that racing will continue. You know, it's raining at the time, but you know, you gotta be hopeful. And you gotta be ready as well. If you're not ready, then it's not gonna go down well. Everyone lined up, got through scrutineering without any hassle. See all the water getting around the joint. She was pretty darn wet. This particular car is rad. It's just the wildest looking thing I've seen. It's loud, man. Must have some serious compression going on. Thump. Very cool bit of gear. So they basically got through scrutineering, parked them all up, and then it was just time to hang out and hope the rain would end, which kind of led to antics, such as sticking stubby coolers over the exhaust of cars and seeing how far we could shoot them. We just did some bits and pieces like this. A couple of pit bike races were going on, scooting back and forth. The mud was thick. Anyone who went over to the campgrounds, they were really in the depths of the mud. But this thing was very cool. We had a lot of fun just mucking around. All of it. Oh! So this is the lay of the land for what it's worth. This area in here is where most of the bigger cars with trailers were parked, scrutineering, lots of water. Everyone just chilling out, we're just having a fat old time really, talking about cars and mods. It's camping, so yeah, that was basically how it went down. This thing was rad. I wish I saw it run. This is running a Flathead 8 belly pan racer, and the thing is just rad. It's so freaking cool. Whoever put it together did the most amazing job. It's very, very neat. Very aeromotive, I suppose, if you want to call it that. So it was a pretty cool bit of kit. We sort of checked it out before we headed back to the car park up at the hotel. Back up in the car park, well, most people had sort of cruised back up there and parked up. Check out the roof on this thing. This is next level. Doesn't really show it as well as it should on the camera, but in real life, the depth of this paint job was ridiculous. So we just hung out, checked out some cars. This is my favorite gasser of all time. My absolute dream car. If I could have this one, that would be it. I would have nothing else. It was pretty awesome. But I do also like 55 Chevs. I think there was one of those there too. So check this thing out. I think this is from another YouTube channel. I'm going to do some research on this car. I'm pretty sure I've seen it before in the story of how it came from America. Don't hold me to that. Anyway, we had a few drinks, then headed off to dinner. Dinner was a buffet. Tell you what, man, how good is that? I haven't had a buffet in years. The restaurant was really nice. Everyone's just having dinner. Pretty mean spread too. All your roast meats and all that sort of jazz. Freaking awesome. And a sunken bar. Tell this place was like 90s built. Apparently the whole thing's over. Next day, racing was called. So we just sort of had a bit of a wander around, checked out the resort a bit. Pretty cool joint. Nicely put together. The main foyer, we made sure we paid for next year's accommodation so that we were all good to be there. We grabbed some breakfast and we were out of town. Oh yeah, check that out. There's an eggs Benny cob loaf. Get you some of that. So that was it. That's our take on the Kooralbyn drags, or nostalgia drags. Killer event. Even though it got rained out, which was a little unfortunate, especially for the organisers and all of those who went there to participate. I really felt for them. It must have really sucked to have to make the right decision to call the event off. A little bit of background, Kooralbyn is in southeast Queensland. It's a funny joint. It was really odd going there for the first time because you go through Beaudesert and you're sort of heading out into the bush, and it's in Carralbyn Valley, and that's the name of the hotel we stayed at. And it's really cool. Basically, all that's there is this 5-star golf course. There's a mountain bike track and a pub and a couple of small shops, and that's pretty much the crust of the whole thing. But there's an old airport there. Going by the building, I wish I filmed some of the building. Old dilapidated building that looks like it was probably, late 70s, early 80s, maybe 90s-ish. I'm guessing that's when the whole resort was built as well. And I'm assuming back in the day, like, it's got a real Scaife, Alan Bond, timeshare, 90s feel to it. It was clearly, like, if you went there in the 90s, it would have been the height of glamour. And it still holds up pretty well today. Like, check out the dining room and that sunken bar and stuff like that. That was pretty darn cool. It holds up pretty well today, but the airport's no longer used. And the old, I guess the bit where you sat and waited for your plane, your flights and whatnot, that's still there. It's really run down. Like I say, I should have filmed it, but that building's still there, but the airstrip's no longer used. So once a year, they come in and they hold this event there, and it's the proper old school, no lights, drop the flag, one and done. Whoever crosses the finish line first wins the race, which I'm all for. I think that's just such a fun fashion of racing. And because we got to hang out with everyone for the day, it was just cool. The whole thing, they did scrutineering, and first day got called for rain. The track just wouldn't dry out. So we ended up just hanging out and chatting to all the drivers and having a drink, and just really having a really good time. Had a bit of a tailgate party back in the car park at the hotel, which was pretty awesome too. Just wandering around talking to people about their builds and what they've got coming up and all that sort of fun stuff. It was really rad. And Kooralbyn is a very cool town. What they do is when you turn off the main road to take the, 10 or 15 kilometre drive into Kooralbyn Valley, there's a massive sign that says Kooralbyn Valley, and it's Kooralbyn, and that is the name of the place. And they actually redo the sign for the town. It's a car, so C-A-R, Carralbyn for the event, which was just really cool. It's just everyone's on board and everyone's had a good time, and I'm sure it brings a lot of money to that little town, and they make a really rad weekend of it. There's a couple of places you can get food there. We went out for breakfast and whatnot, and it was just fantastic food, lovely people, and everyone in the nostalgic drag racing scene are just down to earth, some of the best people you'll ever meet. So we just had a really great time in the end. It got rained out, and it is what it is. Day 2 was called due to weather. We had a lot of rain overnight. A big storm rolled through and just rained its backside out all night long. Which, when we woke up in the morning, the track was dry, but everything around it was soaked. So, in this, case of a bad accident and someone had to run off the track, it was just slop. You'd be spinning and rolling, and it was just unsafe. And I really do commemorate the people who run the event, and they do a great job of it, for calling it like they did. It would be such a horrible thing for them to try and push it and run the event for the sake of everyone being there for it, and an accident happens and the whole thing gets shut down, and someone gets hurt as well. That's on them, and I'm sure they take that very seriously. They shut the event, so obviously they do. And a big shout out to them. I don't know the names of the organisers or anything. We did speak to them. The event's definitely on next year. I've already booked accommodation for it. But a big shout out to them. Like, it would have been financially and mentally, putting on a show like that, a lot of work for them. I'm sure it takes most of the year to plan such an event. And for them to take a loss and call it in the name of safety, my hat's off to them. I think that's a really brilliant thing to do. And the mood and the feeling around the whole place was the same. These events are hard to have in this day and age with public liabilities and all that sort of thing. To have someone who is a stand-up person to run such an event, I know there's a committee, it's not just one person, but to have a team of people come together, looking for people's safety and preserving such an event, and to call it like they did, that's fantastic. And no one missed out. Like, we all had a great day Saturday hanging out. The entertainment for Saturday night, we all went out for a buffet dinner, which was a real treat. I haven't had a buffet in years. And that was followed. There was a live band that night. Like, still the whole atmosphere and the feeling of the event was still fantastic. No one missed out. So I would like to thank everyone who came from far and wide, who was intending to compete and obviously put time and money into being there. Thank you to those guys, and a massive shout out to the people who run it, the committee that put on such a rad event for all of us to come and participate in. Thank you very much. We had a killer time. So that was it. We stayed in the golf club that night. It's the only place in town to stay, so if you are thinking of going next year, book now, because we've already booked for next year and bookings were pretty limited. That pretty much the whole entire thing books out. But if you're competing and whatnot, or you're going for the weekend, it's a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you're going for the weekend, the racetrack grounds or the event grounds, you can camp there. So there's also camping just down from the golf club as well. You can camp there as well. So there's plenty of options. It's not a problem. Just get yourself there. It's really, really cool. That's about the crust of it, I guess. I'm sorry it's a bit of a throw together. I didn't really intend on filming a whole lot. I didn't really know how the weekend was going to go down. It was really just to go and check it out type scenario. And there was a lot of rain. I really couldn't film a lot in the rain either. So it is what it is. I've got the footage we got. So I hope you enjoyed that. And thank you for watching, guys. And I will see you on the next video.